Hello everyone and welcome to Sinful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the Grey. Today's video, we're going to start collecting Warhammer Age of Sigmar, and today we're going to take a look at the Slaves to Darkness box set, the Warhorde of Eternus. Now this box set is one of the Christmas or holiday battle forces coming out this year from Games Workshop. These are a great way to get started in a force, or indeed expand upon a small sort of burgeoning force as well. Now, with this video, we're going to go through all the contents of the box set, talk about the options we have in some of the models, and how we can put them on the tabletop, and what they do briefly as well. We'll then look at some other units we can use to expand upon this initial purchase, and then finally finish off the video with a little sample army list of 1500 points for you to use, hopefully as some inspiration for starting your own force of the Slaves to Darkness in Warhammer Age of Sigmar using the Warhorde of Eternus box set. And so, to begin with, first of all, we get a Chaos Lord on Demonic Mount. This can also be built as Eternus, the Blade of the First Prince, but we'll talk about the Chaos Lord first. 8 wounds, 3+ save, movement 10. This is a model on a Chaos Steed. You've got a couple of different options. You can either have your Cursed Warhammer or your Cursed Lance, but then you've also got your Mighty Hooves as well. The Cursed Lance does more damage when the model charges. It will add 1 to its damage characteristic as well as improving the Rend by 1, so it'll go to Rend 2, damage 2. But the Cursed Warhammer is always damage 2, but always stays at Rend -1, and only has a 1-inch range, so you've got a 2-inch range on the Lance as well. Now on top of that, you have your Chaos Rune Shield. This gives you a 5+ save against mortal wounds, and the Knights of Chaos rule allows you to bring some Chaos Knights along with you after you attack and give them the Strikes First rule as well, which is really nice. Now, Eternus, on the other hand, is named character variation. He does have a sub-faction listed in his keywords, which is Legion of the First Prince. He is sort of Bielakor's mortal servant. Now, he has a few cool rules. He's got a decent combat profile. Blade of the First Prince allows him to have strikes first, just apply to him at all times. Networks of Spies means at the start of the hero phase, if this unit's within 1 inch of any friendly Chaos Legionaries or Furies unit, you gain an additional command point as they've sort of gathered some secrets for him. And Veins of Black Lightning, at the end of your movement phase, if this unit's been slain, you can roll your D6 and add 1 for the roll if Be'lakor is in your army and on the battlefield. On an 8+, you can set this model back up, as Be'lakor's pretty much made him immortal. Now, moving on, we then have the first of our battle line units, and this is the Chaos Warriors. We get 10 of them in the box set, and you have a couple of different options. Either your Murderous Weapons, which are a 1-inch range, 2 attacks, 3s and 3s, run 1, damage 1, or your Ensorcelled Halberds, which are a 2-inch range, but 2 attacks, 4s and 3s, run 1, damage 1. Chaos Rune Shields again give you a 5+ save against mortal wounds, and Bringers of Desolation allows you to add 1 to the attacks characteristic of their melee weapons if they're wholly within enemy territory or wholly within 12-inch of an objective that you do not control. Moving on to another battle line unit, we have the Chaos Knights. They have the options for Cursed Lances or Ensorcelled Hammers, very similar to the mounted version of the Lord. You get more damage on the charge with the Lances, but you'll have a more consistent damage coming out of those Ensorcelled Warhammers. Now, Chaos Rune Shields, same thing again. The Impaling Charge allows them to, as I said, do the extra damage on the charge with the Lancers, and Riders of Doom as well allows them to extend their reach when they charge as well with their weapons. Next, we have 5 Chaos Chosen, a more elite style of Chaos Warrior unit. Chaos Chosen come in 5 model units, 3 wounds each with a 3+ save. Their Soul Splitters are 3 attacks at 3s and 3s, run 1, damage 2, and as well, when they hit an unmodified 6, they inflict a mortal wound in addition to any other damage. Heralds of Ruination, once per battle, allow them to strike twice in the combat phase, and the Rewards of Chaos means if this unit is part of a Slaves to Darkness army, they can roll on the Eye of Gods immediately after deployment. Lastly, in this box set, we get 3 Ogroid Theridons, some of my favourite Slaves to Darkness miniatures. These guys are just absolutely awesome looking minis. I've loved the Ogroids ever since we first saw the Ogroid Thaumaturge in Silver Town. 5 wounds each, 5+ save. Now they've got 2 options for either the Gorin Falchion, which is a 2-inch range, 3 attacks, 3s and 3s, run 1, damage 2, or they can go for the Gorin Grey Axe as well, which is run -2, damage 3. Now the difference here, of course, if you're going to go for the Falchion, you get the shield as well, and what the shield is going to give you is a 4+ save instead of 5+. Berserk Rage means you can add 1 to wound rolls for melee weapons if any wounds or mortal wounds were allocated to this unit in the same phase earlier. And Unleash Savagery, once per battle, when this unit's picked to fight, you can say they'll unleash the Savagery and they add 1 to their attacks characteristic. However, they can't receive the Inspiring Presence or command in the same turn in which they do this. Today's video is brought to you by Gap Games, a fantastic retailer in Australia for a variety of different miniature war games. If you'd like to help support the channel, we have an affiliate link where by clicking on and purchasing, you'll help support the channel, but you'll also help support Gap Games, which is a fantastic servant to the community. Now, moving on, where do we look to next? Definitely wanting to bring some other characters in. At the current point in time, wizards are all the rage, so why not grab a nice Chaos Sorcerer Lord? A really solid wizard, 5 wounds, 4+ save, slightly more survivable than most wizards. It's actually got a okay attack profile for a wizard as well, with a couple attacks from its Chaos Runeblades and another attack from its Sorcerer's Staff. It's a 1-cast and 1-iron wizard. Oracular Visions is a big ability though that allows you to put a 6-up ward on a friendly Slave to Darkness unit hold within 12. And Demonic Power is a really solid spell allowing you to add 1 to hit and wound rolls from melee weapons for a unit nearby. Another wizard you might want to consider is the Slave to Darkness Gaunt Summoner. 2-cast and 2-unbind wizard, 5 wounds and a 6+ save, so slightly, susceptible to dying, but a really strong wizard. You add 1 to casting, unbinding, and dispelling rolls. In addition, this model knows all the spells from the Law of the Damned. And on top of that, Lords of the Silver Tower as well once per battle. At the end of a phase, you can pick an enemy hero within 9 inches of this unit that you've inflicted wounds to with your little ability, and you can intentionally instant slay that hero. You've got a few spells as well, obviously from the whole lore, but Infernal Flames as well allows you to do some mortal wounds, and Silvered Portal actually allows you to start some units off the table that will be brought on from the unit Silver Tower. Now, if we're talking about wizards, we need to talk about all the different endless spells we have access to, because they're a great grab. Darkfire Daemon Rift is a really interesting endless spell that allows you to sort of calculate how many models around it are slain and give some bonus attacks to nearby Slaves to Darkness units. And then you've got the Darkfire Demon Rift as well, which is just going to be fueled by sorcery and does some mortal wounds depending on how many other endless spells are on the table. The Realm Scourge Rupture as well is a predatory endless spell that can potentially do some mortal wounds as well and blocks up the table nicely. Now, moving on to another battle line unit, the Corvus Cabal for me are one of the most interesting units to bring into your force as a sort of Warcry Cabalist unit. Now, what they're going to do is be able to start off the table and come on from reserves. This enables you to start quite a bit off the table when you consider your Gaunt Summoner and some Corvus Cabal. Now, we then have the Mighty Sphinx last as well. An interesting model to bring to the force. It's got a really fun ability. Now, what this is going to do is, with its Dominate Mind, you can pick an enemy unit and try and roll above their bravery on 2d6. And this will give them the Strike Last effect if they are affected and you succeed that roll. And so here we have our sample army list for the Slaves to Darkness. Now to start with, we are going in the Cabalist subfaction. This is a really interesting subfaction in the current season of Warhammer Age of Sigmar. It's going to turn all our heroes into wizards, and if they're already a wizard, they can cast an extra spell, and they'll know an extra spell from the Law of Damned. Now in addition, we can use the Draw and Heroic Power action. Every hero we have, we can sort of do it, which is really nice, so long as one's used it already. Now, we then have our Chaos Lord on Demonic Mount, who's going to lead our force, and he's being an Idolater Lord, which turns him into a priest. We then go on with the Prayer Scripture of Curse to get some mortal wound damage in the force. We've got the Conqueror's Crown, which stops enemy units nearby contesting objectives if their wounds are too low. And we've gone for Mark of Tzeentch on the entire force, which gives us a 6-up ignore of spell effects that we don't want to have affect us. But also, all our wizards will get a teleport spell as well. For his spell, we've gone Demonic Speed. This allows him to benefit some of the nearby cavalry units. Now, Chaos Sorcerer Lord is then going to go with Chaos Conduit and Binding Damnation for Strike Last, and also some ability to roll on the Eye of Gods. Meanwhile, a Gaunt Summoner, because we do get all of the spells from the Law of the Damned, we go with a Universal spell, which is going to be Levitate to make some of our units fly. For Battle Line, we have 5 Chaos Knights, we have 10 Chaos Warriors, and 9 Corvus Cabal. We then have our 5 Chaos Chosen, who've taken our Ensorcelled Banner as well. This is called the Blaster Standard, which gives them some extra protection against ranged attacks. We then have 3 Ogre Therodons and the Mindstealer Sphinx before the 8-fold Doom Sigil rounds out our force. A Warlord Battalion giving us that second artifact we have in the force, which is going to be the Helm of Eldritch Command, which allows us to really control endless spells on the table with the Gaunt Summoner. And everything is wrapped up. We've got a Triumph. It's inspired for a potential +1 to wound, seeing as we're 20 points under. And we've also got the And that's the end of the video. We hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and also drop a comment down below letting us know what you thought about the video. If you'd like to come chat more with me and other members of our fine little community here at Sinful Gaming, we have a Discord server linked down in the video's description. Also linked down in the video's description are the best ways to help support the channel. You can use one of our affiliate links to Gap Games or Element Games if you're in Australia or the United Kingdom, or you can subscribe to our YouTube members or Patreon, or grab some merch from our merch stores on Teespring or Ko-fi. All the best ways to help support the channel. As a special thanks to all our Patreon and YouTube members, we'd like to give them all a shout out. So thank you to our Patrons: Broken Chef, Andy C, Grimscold, Colorblind Magic, Benjamin Swallows, James Cater, Mark Harvey, Domir, Average Wargamer, JJ Austrian, Cure Dynamic, Andrew Bowen, Outer and Shot First, Kenny Lowell and Soren. And to our YouTube members: Green Roots Gaming, Ronya, Lock Lorick, the Johnny84, Broken Chef, Ariana Edwards, Monty's Tabletop Terrain, James Tillman, Disco, John Castle and Gargamel196. Thank you all once again for watching. Like, subscribe, comment down below. Stay safe everyone, stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the grey. Ciao for now.